is also part of the guest list. Adobe CEO Shantanu Narayan has been invited as well. The CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger, is also likely to attend the pre-wedding ceremonies in Jamnagar. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, Morgan Stanley CEO Ted Pick and Blackstone founder Stephen Schwarzman are also attending. And it's not just the business honchos, several dignitaries will also be in attendance, like Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani, the Prime Minister of Qatar, King of Bhutan, Jigme Khasar, Namgyel Wangchuk and Queen Jetsun Pema are expected to join the grand celebration. Stephen Harper, the former Prime Minister of Canada, is another big name who is expected to join the celebrations. Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant got engaged in a traditional ceremony in January 2023. Their wedding is the most anticipated event of the year.
What is Mr. Gandhi trying to get at? Because this idea of OBC politics, caste census, etc. was a tried and failed idea as recently as the December elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. So why is he trying to once again beat a drum which is hollow?
At the end of the day, their hard work, their merit does not matter. What their surname is, their caste, only that matters for Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Why is he taking an 80-year-old octogenarian's name and telling him that these are people dancing there? Is that not an outright insult to somebody's merit?
If a crown prince doesn't know that the Ram Lalla foundation stone was being laid by a Dalit, then I pity on him.
When the committees were formed, the farmer representatives and unions refused to be a part of it. They've come up with a solution where they're saying, okay, for certain crops, we want you to diversify and we're going to give you a guarantee for 5 years. Why is it that the farmers have rejected it outright?
Shaming voters that have not supported the Congress betrays a contempt for their right to choose, a right guaranteed by the Constitution. But even at a purely human level, Rahul's diatribe against the so-called, quote, drunks, unquote, exposes a lack of empathy.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Fresh face-off took place between the TMC and the BJP as the latter's women's team led by MP Loket Chatterjee was detained on its way to Sandeshkhali in West Bengal. This after the local BJP chief Sukanta Majumdar's visit to the area was obstructed yesterday. Taking on the TMC government, the BJP has now announced a 3-day dharna from Feb 26 to 28. The ruling party is countering the charges of the opposition party, saying that every day BJP leaders line up to visit the area despite the imposition of Section 144, and perhaps they want to keep the issue boiling ahead or till Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit next week. War of words continuing even as anger is growing against TMC strongman Sheikh Shahjahan, who has been long absconding since January 5, and his family and associates. Now, hitting back at the BJP's charge over leniency on Shahjahan's arrest, TMC has said that West Bengal police did arrest 17 others along with key aides Uttam Sadar and Shibu Hazra. But the responsibility of arresting Shahjahan was with the Enforcement Directorate, while also blaming a stay order by a court on the FIR on the party leader as the reason an arrest cannot happen just yet. But is that really the reason? A key accused who has been brought into the limelight by hundreds of women cannot be arrested? Meanwhile, West Bengal DGP Rajiv Kumar finally visited the area and spoke to locals. He has assured that no accused will be spared. This is the first such assurance coming in from the top cop nearly 3 weeks after intense protests by women who were first maligned no end for coming out. It's also been 50 days since the TMC strongman has been missing. There is palpable anger in Sandeshkhali. So will the state really step up, stop making excuses and arrest Shah Jahan? We take that question to our guests in just a bit. Take a look at the faces of the Sandeshkhali horror that are now coming to light. There will be plenty more, but these are the key men who have been identified. Of course, at the top is Sheikh Shah Jahan. He's been absconding for 50 days now, and we still really do not know by when he's going to be arrested. A lot of speculations are going on, but it's best not to enter that. He's of course linked to two accused, Shibu Hazra and Uttam Sadar, who have now been arrested. But remember, it took the state quite some time to lodge cases against them of torture, sexual assault and rape and others, and actually finally arrest them. But that has not subsided the anger, if that's what the state was anticipating. Now the attention has also shifted to Sheikh Sirajuddin. He's the brother of Sheikh Shah Jahan, and he was actually spotted in the village. There was so much anger against him that the locals started attacking him and the properties that he has in that area. He seemingly went to that village after many days of Shah Jahan missing to assert his fiefdom, because locals allege that he has grabbed their land quite like Shah Jahan, the brother, has, and treated Sandeshkhali as their kingdom. And there are also allegations of torture against Sirajuddin as well. We'll wait and see what happens to him. Politically, there is a lot of action on ground. TMC and BJP are locked in an intense face-off. Let me just break down where both parties stand. The BJP is constantly trying to up the ante and, turn up the heat as far as the state government is concerned. So, their LOP, Suvendu Adhikari, has moved the High Court again, is seeking to visit Sandeshkhali again. This is what the TMC is saying meanwhile. They are basically now saying that we've taken action. They're citing the sacking of Minister Jyotipriya Malik as well as action that the government continues to take. But what is the BJP saying? Now they're saying they're planning a dharna between February 26 and 28, while TMC says, look at the fact that we've arrested the key aides, the ones that I mentioned earlier. BJP has even released a documentary on the horror and abuse, quote-unquote, coming out from Sandeshkhali, while the TMC is now also pointing to the fact that the DGP has finally assured action against those involved in torture. But that has only come now. Possibly they were wishing all of this will go away. BJP claims that women leaders are being arrested. Certainly some of them on their way were detained. We don't quite know exactly what happens to them. But the TMC is saying that we have zero tolerance against corruption and we are not going to tolerate or make any alibis for anybody. But remember, is this coming too late is a question that the TMC as a party and the TMC government will face. And here is why. Did they wake up too late? Are they finally waking up? These are the questions we ask. How did this all start? Let's not forget that women in Sandeshkhali have leveled allegations of local police refusing to register cases or their complaints when they initially came out to light or when they tried to do so over the last 10-12 years. They even went on to say that police asked them to sort out differences with the accused. They sent them back to the likes of Hazra and Sadar and Sheikh Shah Jahan. Women claim local police refused to file FIRs against Sheikh Shah Jahan especially, and till today there is actually no FIR of sexual assault or abuse or anything else from the fallout of this case so far. Then what happens? Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee defends the key accused Shah Jahan inside assembly. The Chief Minister and the TMC question the versions of the women coming out on media, their backgrounds and why they were leveling the allegations. The West Bengal police, remember, meanwhile, insisted there were no complaints of rape. So, there's no need for any outrage, as if sexual assault that was being mentioned by the women will stop just as sexual assault. It's not really something that should be looked at as gravely, as seriously as rape. They insisted that there are no such charges, but obviously later agencies went to Sandeshkhali. They have since lodged some complaints. Now, after days and days of protests by the women, denial by the state government initially, Shah Jahan's aides were finally arrested. This was the first turning point. Now West Bengal DGP Rajiv Kumar has spent an entire night in Sandeshkhali, and he has said that police is listening to each and every complaint in Sandeshkhali. Of course, this is welcome, but has it come too late? With that, the other big question we ask is simply this: just how long? is it going to take for Shah Jahan's arrest? And is the state still making excuses on that front?
Party is arranging one dharna. We have applied for the permission from 26 to 28 at Gandhi Murti.
वो अपने खुद के कंस्टिट्यूएंसी में नहीं जाता है और चला गया वो संदेशखाली फोटो शूट करने.
Was such a type of multi-dimension criminalization of politics and its subsequent political patronage and protection is unforeseen, unprecedented in Indian history.
करने का ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसका है? तो ईडी का है. केस तो ईडी का है.
এরকম যদি কোনো লোক ল অ্যান্ড অর্ডার ভাঙার চেষ্টা করছে ওর अगेंस्ट ফার্স্ট ব্যবস্থা.
Let's go across to the guest joining us, Mohammad Tausifur Rahman, spokesperson of the TMC, Charu Pragya from the BJP. I will be joined by Bhavna Bajaj, former consultant of NHRC and NCPCR, two national bodies on human rights and child rights. She's also part of a team that is going to Sandeshkhali soon, this weekend, to look at the situation on ground. AK Jain is former DGP and security expert with us. I do thank you all for your time. Tausif, I want to begin with you.
Yes,
on one hand, the TMC is saying it's not our responsibility to arrest Sheikh Shah Jahan. On another hand, your National General Secretary Abhishek is giving an excuse almost that, see, we can't arrest Shah Jahan because there's a stay by the High Court on the FIR, and that has tied the hands of the state administration. Which one is it? Is it that the ED is not arresting, or you are unable to arrest Sheikh Shah Jahan?
Good evening, Shivani. Shivani, it's been 10 days, 12 days, and I'm doing a show with you almost every day. And you know the whole scenario as well, what is happening in Sandeshkhali. Well, when you talk about a general secretary, he was very clear that the force will take its own thing and the action will be taken. Now, when it's about Sheikh Shah Jahan, I mean, if you just listen to me, this 45 days, 50 days, ED went to raid on Sheikh Shah Jahan without notice, and there was instigation, there was provoking, and even ED got hurt as well, which we never supported. We wanted to support ED at every cost. But now the whole scenario has been changing and it is in front of your eyes. I mean, I'm sure that you must be knowing that there is a raid in Howrah, Dhulagarh, where 4 adults and 2 minor girls have been taken out from there. And Sabyasachi Ghosh, a BJP leader, has been arrested in this whole big prostitution racket.
That's welcome. That's welcome. The problem is that nobody is opposing that. Nobody will defend that, and that is very welcome if anything illegal was going on. But I don't understand how that explains the Sandeshkhali conundrum. One second. I asked you a very direct question. Sure, but I asked you a very direct question. Simple question. On one hand, you blame the ED for not arresting Sheikh Shah Jahan. On another hand, you're saying we can't do it because there's a stay on the FIR on him. It can't be both, right? You can't just say, oh, it's not our responsibility. On another hand, say it is our responsibility, but right now our hands are tied.
Bengal is our responsibility. The people of Bengal is our responsibility. They have voted us. They have given us the blessing. So definitely it's our responsibility. But the whole massacre and facade created by ED shall not come on to us.
What did you say? What created by ED?
This facade, this whole facade has been created by ED.
Facade as in what?
Yes, of course. Wait, let me complete. What they did back in 50 days. I mean, you need to trust me, Shivani. I mean, it's in front of your eyes. I can't lie. You can send your journalists right now in Sandeshkhali and have a word what they have done with Sandeshkhali people.
What have they done? You tell me. What is your contention?
Why did they instigate the people of Sandeshkhali?
How did they instigate the people of Sandeshkhali? Can you tell me?
Ask the people of Sandeshkhali. Yeah, they were attacked, you know that. And what they were doing with the people of Sandeshkhali? They heckled the people of Sandeshkhali. They tortured the people of Sandeshkhali.
Sorry, heckled and what? One second. Your audio is not very clear. They heckled and what?
He tortured the people of Sandeshkhali.
Tortured the people of Sandeshkhali. Where are these allegations coming in from?
I'm telling you, I'm a responsible person sitting on a national television as a TMC spokesperson, and I'm a responsible. My statement is not.
So that is the reason why you can't arrest Sheikh Shah Jahan.
The courts will take its subject. The action will be taken. The action will be taken. But
when it's been 50 days.
The whole Shivu Hajra has been arrested. Why? There was an FIR with Shivu Hajra. He has been arrested.
You are unwilling to lodge an FIR on Sheikh Shah Jahan. We've been through this road, Tausif. There are women after women who have come out and named Sheikh Shah Jahan. You are not creating a conducive atmosphere. One second, you're not creating a conducive atmosphere for women to come out and register complaints against Sheikh Shah Jahan. Some of them have been registered by external bodies, and we hope that the state agency also wakes up. But I'm just curious, you say there is no FIR, so we can't act. Somebody else, Abhishek Banerjee, says that there is a stay on the FIR by the EDs. That's why we can't act. Another of your ministers said, I think Shashi Panja said that it's the ED, or the lady next to Shashi Panja said that, it's the ED's responsibility. It's a hodgepodge of narratives. I'm sorry to say, they all sound like excuses. Charu Pragya wants to come in. Charu, one second. Tausif, one second. It cannot be that you blame the ED for raiding an individual who's an accused in a corruption case. The ED doesn't roll out a red carpet. The ED doesn't give you notices before a raid. The ED doesn't give you an opportunity to hide evidence and run away. That's not how an ED... that's not how it's done. The fact that you say that this is a facade and a drama created by ED is being heard by people in Sandeshkhali every day, day in, day out, by the Chief Minister and everybody else. And this is why women are not coming forward to police stations. In any case, women have said on camera that police is unwilling to register their cases. They've tried it in the past. They have no faith in this local police.
You don't want to listen to me.
I'll give you 15 seconds more, and then I'll go across to our other guests.
You know what? I challenge one of the officer from ED who went to Sandeshkhali to come on your show, which is a very important show. I like this show. It's a very interesting debate what we do every day at 6 p.m. with you, and you make your points very clear.
Why would an officer be obligated to come on a television debate? He's not answerable to you.
Make our points clear as well. No. We are here to make our points clear. Now, why don't you call one of the officer from the ED and call me?
The ED is going to make itself clear in court. You know that they don't fight these political battles in media. There's a certain protocol that an agency follows, but that cannot be an excuse for what the state can or cannot do. Humbly, I tell to you. But now hold on. Tausif, now hold on. I don't want to speak over you. Charu Pragya wants to come in. Charu Pragya, the state is saying, look at everything we've done. The DGP has now gone and spent a night there. We are assuring the women of Sandeshkhali we will act. What is the problem?
Shivani, a very good evening to you, and give me just 1 minute to go over everything Tausif has said and everything that I want to add. A DGP who's cooperating today is the same DGP who did not cooperate with NCW when Rekha Sharma ji visited, right? Her written report says that the DGP didn't cooperate, so much so that the SP didn't even send a police team with the NCW team when they were visiting Sandeshkhali. It is only after an uproar that was created later in the media, the DG as an afterthought might have decided to cooperate. But let's remember, he didn't do it in the beginning because, as usual, West Bengal police was seen colluding with the culprits instead of standing on the other side to help the victims in a situation as horrifying as this. Yet again, the West Bengal police was caught on the wrong side of the fence, and I am not saying this without facts backing my claim, Shivani. Let me remind you of the post-poll violence. You know how badly that went on, and two examples from that I will take. One old woman aged 65 years who was a victim of rape.
I'll come to you.
Registered by the
Tausif, I'll come to you. She's answering my question, which is why I'm not interrupting her. If anybody answers my direct question directly, I will not interrupt. Don't do what about it. That's what I don't
Shivani,
like.
please
Yes,
allow
Pragya.
me to finish
Yes,
the points that I'm making, and Tosin, please don't interrupt me. I'm going to go back. The 65-year-old woman had to come to the Supreme Court in New Delhi, and the Supreme Court then directed the West Bengal police to file an FIR. Example number 2, 400 accused in the post-poll violence were served notices by the Supreme Court as recently as last week. West Bengal police did not act on it. Now you are drawing these comparisons and you are talking about the ED and the police, etc., etc., and the TMC is giving confusing statements. Shivani, let's get one thing clear. When the TMC wanted to find a scapegoat, they found not one but two. Shibu is behind bars and this Uttam Sardar is behind bars. They are both kicked out of the TMC. But you know what? Not just Sheikh Shahjahan is not behind bars. He is not even being kicked out of the political party that he very proudly represents. So
TMC
much so that
says
when
there is
ED
no
comes
case against
for
him.
a raid, a logical legal raid. No, how does TMC decide? Why doesn't the ED decide that and says there's no case?
No, they're
They
saying
say
as
there's a
far
search
as
warrant. You know what happened?
they're saying that legally, as far as these charges are concerned of sexual assault, possibly rape, there is no complaint against Sheikh Shahjahan directly, which is why we can't act.
Shivani, give me 20 seconds.
Yeah.
No, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Charu
You know what happened if a ED team comes with a search warrant and there is a crowd, a mob of more than 500 people beating back the team which has only come to do its job, 3 officers get injured. Does it sound like there is nothing to hide here? Something more sinister is not going on? Absolutely not. Even in this case, the police was the one who apparently in the dead of the night went knocking on the doors of the victims, the women, and they were told to basically shut up. Otherwise, the wrath will be faced by their children and their husbands. How will they speak up? How will we take names? And there is a chief minister who, without the investigation getting concluded, stands up in the assembly and basically gives a clean chit. Basically, she says that nothing has happened in Sandeshkhali, and her spokespersons come and call it drama. They say harassment is going on. This is a facade. How shameless can you get? These women are on camera actually talking about what they have suffered through for
possibly
years.
what is also happening.
Systematic exploitation of them.
Possibly, Tasif, I'll give you 30 seconds.
These ladies were not even adults. They were minors. They were minors.
Yeah, no, Tasif, possibly what is happening is you thought this will go away and some sort of browbeating of the women who've come out, maybe, you know, you will break their back and their bravado and their bravery and they'll go back. That's not happening. You're having to wake up.
No, and first of all, Shivani, I would like to ask Charuji that not to attack me personally and calling me shameless, because, you know, if I say something again, it will be a woman card that I don't know how to speak with a woman. But anyway,
I'm calling your party shameless. I did not personally attack you. I am calling the entire stand of TMC very fake and very shameless.
She's clarified. Tasif, go ahead, quickly.
I mean, when you say Bengal police shelling Sheikh Shahjahan, that's a nonsense, Shivani. Let me talk about the Bengal police as well. When the whole India is talking about Bengal police, the ones batting on this should know that the stay under Calcutta High Court and FIR of the state has been hands of the state administration and standing its way of arresting. I mean, if you talk about the party stand, you know, from Partho Chatterjee, Jyoti Priya Malik, no one has been spared, and arrest of Uttam Sardar, Shibu Hajra for the complicity is alleged violence in Sandeshkhali. Then the charges against Mamata Banerjee administration of showing leniency to only one accused are completely baseless. Who caught Sharda Kingpin? Charuji, I'm asking you. I mean, it's a good thing. No, we are talking. Who caught Sharda Kingpin from Kashmir? It was the state police. Trinamool has a zero tolerance. You're
just repeating what Abhishek Banerjee has said. I already mentioned what he has said. 1 second. But that is not adding up, na? Tasif, the question I asked you very first at the beginning was that this is not adding up. This is not adding up because you've just woken up and said, oh, there's a stay, so that's why we can't do something. Till yesterday, you weren't saying this. And then your spokespersons also say it is not our responsibility. You sit here and say this is anyways a facade and a drama. The ED is responsible for all of this. Where is your heart and mind as far as this case is concerned? Is the question. Okay, 1 second. AK Jain, I want to go across to AK Jain. We are having some difficulty with Bhavna's link. But AK Jain, I want to come to you. The fact that the Trinamool Congress is now saying that, listen, there is a stay on the FIR by the High Court, which is why we can't act. Now, that situation is different. that was a different case. Since then, an entire other situation has played out where woman after woman has come out naming Sheikh Shah Jahan and saying, you know, this man has been harassing us, he's been grabbing our land, he's involved in torture, and he's the kingpin. And still there is no FIR against Shah Jahan. Does this add up? Are the state government's hands tied to this extent? They can't even lodge an FIR, suo moto, and they cannot actually go and search for Shah Jahan?
TMC is naturally being guided by its Chief Minister of West Bengal. Because Chief Minister has defended Shah Jahan Sheikh in assembly, on the floor of the assembly, the entire party and police force and administration is out there to shield Sheikh Shah Jahan. And I tell you that if they keep on doing it, if they are trying to hide the truth, they will keep on speaking lies and they will expose themselves. The only course, in my opinion, as ex-police officer before West Bengal police is, and with the West Bengal government is, that two committees should be set up. One of lady police officers with full powers, without any control over them, to lodge cases, to talk to women, lodge cases, and take action against the culprits, to restore confidence amongst women of West Bengal. Number two is that in cases of land grabbing, teams should be set up, joint team should be set up of revenue department and police department. They should set up a camp, and if in the camp, if there is a complaint that such and such land has been grabbed, immediate measurement should be done on the ground, and if kabza is there, if illegal occupation is there, if a pond has been set up on their land, they are tribals. You see, you have to accept this, that they are tribals, and if it is done, immediately the area should be, the plot should be restored to the allottee, and case should be registered against the encroachers. If this technique is adopted, I think the political temperature in Sandeshkhali will come down, action will be taken against goons, and it will be a clear message. If Mamata Banerjee and TMC want that a message should go to the criminals, then this will be a message which will go across West Bengal.
So as far as the local police is concerned, they did form an SIT headed by a female officer who did go to Sandeshkhali. They say they went door to door, but there were no rape complaints that came forward to them, which is why the Bengal police then came out even on social media to say, listen, there are no rape complaints. But I don't think that this matter is so technical about whether it's sexual assault and torture or rape. That is irrelevant in this case. What is important is, one second, Taseem, 1 second, please don't speak over me. Please lower his fader, please. What is more important is that institutional sexual harassment and more has come to light over a period of time, and women have found courage to come out and say this. They may stop short in front of camera to say, oh, we were sexually assaulted. That doesn't mean just because they're not using the word rape, you know how you have to understand the victim's mentality here. Just because they're not using the word rape or balatkar doesn't mean that that's not what they're talking about. So an environment needed to be created. The West Bengal team did go there, they didn't find any complaints, but then when the NHRC, when the NCW and the NCST etc. went there, they did find complaints. So what are we supposed to believe? I want to go across to the former consultant of NHRC and NCPCI, Bhavna Bajaj, who's joining us. Bhavna, I think you with your rest of your team, including a former judge, is going to Sandeshkhali over the next 2 days. What are you hoping to achieve? A lot of teams have already visited. What are you hoping to achieve?
We are on the way.
You are on the way, okay.
We are on the way to Sandeshkhali, and this is not our first visit. This is our fourth visit in West Bengal. We went there at post-poll violence time. We went there at Ramnami violence time, and we have seen such a brutality and such a nonsense there. पूरा का पूरा उनका पुलिस का महकमा ये उस पे लग जाता है कि हम उस जगह पर ना पहुंचे. I mean, ये काम वायलेंस को रोकने के लिए नहीं होता, ये पोस्टपोल वायलेंस को रोकने के लिए नहीं होता, ये रामनवमी के दंगे को रोकने के लिए नहीं होता है. ये सिर्फ ईडी के लिए होता है, ये एनएचआरसी के लिए, एनसीपीसीआर के लिए होता है, और फिर उसके बाद ये कहते हैं कि वो टीम आकर फसाद करती है। वो फसाद करती हैं या उनके जो दुख है उसमें मरहम रखते हैं।
So now you're going to Sandeshkhali, आप क्या अचीव करना चाह रहे हैं? आप क्या, आपकी उम्मीद क्या है कि आपको वहां पे, भावना इस केस में ना क्या हो रहा है?
उसके यहाँ उसके पास
जी भावना, एक सेकंड, इस केस में क्या हो रहा है ना कि लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बोल रही है कि हमारे पास कंप्लेंट्स नहीं आ रही, जो एक्सटर्नल बॉडीज जा रही है उनको कंप्लेंट्स मिल रही हैं अलेजेडली, बट एक्शन तो लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को ही लेना पड़ेगा अंटिल देयर इज ए हाई कोर्ट और अ सुप्रीम कोर्ट मॉनिटर्ड प्रोब। तो मेन चीज ये है कि आप कितनी कंप्लेंट्स वहां पे रजिस्टर करा सकते हैं, कितना सिक्योरिटी आप विमेन को दे सकते हैं, और वो केस लीगली ऐसे आगे कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं। तो व्हाट इज योर होप एंड गोइंग देयर एंड व्हाट डू यू होप टू अचीव? भावना, भावना जी, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? Okay, let's try and reconnect with her. But you just heard, Tausif, what she said. She said she's been to West Bengal.
Can I come in?
1 second, Charu. She said been to West Bengal on 3 previous occasions, and on similar cases of post-poll violence, Ram Navami violence, and the kind of friction they get, visiting teams get from the police, is not the kind of bandobast the teams do, the police do, for actual victims or against accused.
Shivani, sometimes I feel I should believe you only rather than believing these National Commission women who's just becoming a mouthpiece of Bharatiya Janata Dal Party. I don't want to believe them. It's okay. Whatever they want to narrate a Shakespeare story, a Julius Caesar story, and they want to tell it to the world that what is happening in Bengal, it has become like an Afghanistan. I'm not going to take that thing. We are not going to buy that. Even the people of West Bengal is not buying anything, because the only thing they want that the truth should come out, not by saying just by my mouth. The evidence should be there. And when I told you always, Shivani, I respect each and every testimony. No. I respect each and every statement coming from any woman. But you can't do a drama by sending NCW, by hiring those mouthpieces from Bharatiya Janata Dal Party. I understand.
Drama, that's their job. You realize that?
Charuji is an official BJP spokesperson.
It's their job. No, it's not fair for you to just dismiss people who are raising concerns by branding them. I'm not in favor of that. That's never an exercise that goes.
Can I come in?
Bhavna is back with us, but yes, Charu, go ahead very quickly.
This is my
Tausif, limited time.
बोलना चाहूंगी मैं एक बात बोलना
चाहूंगी. If everything was hung
okay, one by one. Bhavna ji, I'm coming to you next.
You wouldn't have arrested a journalist.
Yes, Charu.
You know, Shivani, they arrested a journalist only for carrying out his duty. A journalist was thrown behind bars. The High Court in West Bengal was scathing in the judgment they have written, scathing against the TMC dispensation there. Do you think that you would have done that if you had nothing to hide? Tell me. Do you think you would have beaten back ED if you had nothing to hide? Do you think your police would be discouraging women and scaring them into not filing an FIR, and when they wanted to, they wouldn't be noting it down, so much so, like past, they might need to come to Delhi to register it.
Okay.
So please, do not blame people and call them BJP supporters only because they are raising a voice for what is right. I assure you, every single person in this country is going to stand against those perpetrators, and if you can't do that, something's wrong with your party.
We are all wise enough to accept that local administration bows down to local strongmen. It's not a phenomenon that is restricted to West Bengal. We've seen it in other parts of the country. But what you do hope that when it comes to light, it will be cracked down upon, including local administration, heads will roll, and they will get a message that this will not be business as usual. Unfortunately, in this case, that hasn't happened. Something could have been done about that, so that there could have been reassurance that, okay, if police officials haven't heard you so far, we're going to make sure that we have fresh minds and eyes and people there, and we are going to tell them to actually do so. Bhavna is back with us. Bhavna, sorry you got interrupted and we lost your link. Very quickly, you wanted to come in. 30 seconds.
I just want to say कि ये जो बोलते हैं कि ईडी और एनएचआरसी, हम लोग तो एक सिविल सोसाइटी के मेंबर्स हैं. हम लोग ये सबकी कंप्लेंट्स को कलेक्ट करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट में पहुंचाते रहे हैं और पहुंचाएंगे. और पहले भी हमने बहुत सारी महिलाओं को यहाँ बुलाया. ये हमको वहां तक नहीं पहुंचने देते तो हम उनको अपने पास बुलाते हैं। ये वो बात नहीं करने देते तो हम खुद कलेक्ट करते हैं उनकी कंप्लेंट को। अभी हमने जो NHRC में भी कंप्लेंट दी है उसमें भी महिलाओं की कंप्लेंट उसमें अटैच करके दी है। तो कितना भी छुपा लेंगे सच को छुपा नहीं पाएंगे। और जो मैं उन महिलाओं को दिल से धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ जो इतनी परेशानी के बाद भी वो कम से कम बाहर तो आई हैं, वो सच को बोलने की हिम्मत तो की है।
Right.
हमारा जो कंसर्न है वो उनकी सेफ्टी है, उन महिलाओं की सेफ्टी है, उनके बच्चों की सेफ्टी है। क्योंकि अभी तक उनको ये बोल के ही धमकाया जाता था और बुलाया जाता था कि तुम्हारे जो पति हैं या तुम्हारे बच्चे हैं उनके साथ हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। यही हमारा कंसर्न है।
ओके
तो उसके लिए इसी के लिए हम लोग बार बार जाते रहे हैं और जाते रहेंगे। ये हमें ना पहले रोक पाए हैं ना अब रोक पाएंगे।
जी Bhavna, I do appreciate you joining us. We'll connect with you and your team again after your visit as well. And I do thank the rest of our guests for joining us on our first debate as well. Moving on, Ajmer Dargah Chief Syed Zainul Abedin has stirred the hornet's nest by suggesting that political parties should try to find solutions to disputes such as in Mathura and Kashi outside of courts. Any dispute that is resolved by mutual consent will win hearts and trust of communities, he has gone on to say. The Ajmer Dargah chief was addressing a conference titled Paigam-e Mohammed Hum Sab Ka Bharat, organized by Rajasthan unit of All India Sufi Sajja Danshan Council, in which heads of almost all dargahs of Rajasthan were present. But his suggestion has met with opposition by both Muslim clerics and also Hindu petitioners. So what is the divide coming to fore amongst the Muslim cleric voices? Let me first break that down. So while the Ajmer Dargah chief says that we can resolve the dispute outside court, there should be some attempt made on that. The Imam Association chief Sajid Rashidi has said that we've seen what happened during Babri and therefore there is no point getting into this, or there is no trust. That's the indication. The Ajmer Dargah chief says that out of court resolution will be a marker for peace, that we should attempt this because it will be more peaceful and it will foster more peace. The Imam Association chief believes that the Hindu side just wants to take away these sites of Kashi and Mathura and therefore they are not willing to actually settle outside court. It's not as if the Hindu petitioners are very keen on an out-of-court settlement either. One of the main lawyers fighting these cases and petitioner Vishnu Jain has outrightly rejected the idea too. He says that no compromise is possible. Any kind of compromise is barred under law as well, and there are question marks of course of how long standing it can be, and that they are not ready to give away an inch of land. Now, the reason why many may not be enthused by this suggestion of out-of-court settlement, even if noble, is because it is bound to fail. It has failed in the past in the case of Ayodhya and will not be long-lasting. It will always come under question or will be open to litigation later. Now, many such efforts failed in Ayodhya too. These are some of the examples of the negotiations that were attempted. Even in 1990, for example, PM Chandrasekhar had attempted a resolution, but that resolution had failed. Representatives of two organizations had met. They had presented evidence to union government as well, but did not come to much. In 2003, in June, July, efforts were made by Kashi Shankaracharya that also failed. Vajpayee government had openly backed efforts for Kashi Shankaracharya to make an attempt as far as this peace is concerned. The AIMPLB rejected his proposals, questioning the government's sincerity, but even the VHP was not very enthused with that idea at that time. December 2003, another track 2 attempt by the BJP failed again. Ayodhya Jama Masjid Trust, an MHA-backed body, suggested a formula. They suggested the government would allocate 400 crore rupees to build a mosque on a different site. Clearly, those formulas were not accepted at that time. Those were the formulas being debated. Till even 2019, the Supreme Court offered and ordered mediation. And then the bench sent the land dispute to a 3-member mediation panel. The efforts failed yet again just before there were day-to-day hearings that started and finally a judgment was given. So, the big question, will a mutual agreement and out-of-court settlement be possible at all? We'll take that forward with our guests in just a bit.
कोर्ट के बाहर जब ये सुलहनामा होगा तो दोनों धर्मों के अंदर कटुता कम होगी। क्यों कि कोर्ट के अंदर एक पक्ष के फेवर में हो रहा है, दूसरे पक्ष के फेवर में नहीं हो रहा है, तो दूसरा पक्ष तो कटुता रखेगा।
देश से हमेशा के लिए धार्मिक उन्माद को समाप्त किया जाए। उसके लिए बेहतर ये होगा कि मथुरा काशी जैसे जो मसले हैं, इसके लिए हमने तमाम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, हिंदू मुस्लिम दोनों ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से अपील की है कि ऐसा माहौल बनाया जाए कि हम इस मसले को आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट के जरिए सेटल कर सकें।
मेरे भाई, अगर आपको बाबरी मस्जिद कज़िये का पता होता तो शायद इस तरह की बातें ना करते। आप समझाइए इनको, आपकी मानेंगे ये?
अब जब इनके पास कोई सिंगल डॉक्यूमेंट आज तक दाखिल नहीं कर पाए, लोअर कोर्ट में दाखिल नहीं कर पाए, अब इनको लगता है कि हम हारेंगे, इसलिए इस तरह की ये बातें कर रहे हैं।
यहाँ पे सबको एक दूसरे के सहयोग और आपसी बातचीत के द्वारा समस्या का समाधान होना चाहिए। निश्चित रूप से मैं खुद ही इसके समर्थक हूँ।
काशी मथुरा के संदर्भ में जब मामला न्यायालय में विचाराधीन है और जब उनको लगने लगा कि तथ्य और सत्य जो है वो हिंदू समाज के साथ हैं, भगवान कृष्ण और भोले शंकर के साथ हैं, तब लोग कुछ बातचीत की बात कर रहे हैं।
Okay, let's go across to our guest joining us, Syed Nasiruddin Chishti. You heard from him there. Chairman of the AISSC is also joining us. Maulana Sajid Rashidi, Chairman, All India Imam Association. He's of course vehemently objected to this. Charu Pragya, BJP spokesperson. Ashwini Dubey, Advocate Supreme Court, all with us. I want to go across to Syed Nasiruddin Chishti. आपने देखा होगा कि जब से ये सजेशन आया है अजमेर शरीफ की तरफ से बहुत ऑपोजिशन हो रहा है और इमाम एसोसिएशन के लोग, उनसे जुड़े हुए लोग, उन्होंने अपोज किया है, साजिद रशीदी ने अपोज किया है। तो ये जो निंदा हो रही है इस कमेंट की या इस सजेशन की, उसको आप कैसे देखते हैं?
देखिए, अजमेर दरगाह के जो आध्यात्मिक प्रमुख हैं दीवान सैयद ज़ैनुल आबिदीन साहब, वो हमेशा अपनी बात पूरी बेबाकी के साथ लोगों के सामने रखते हैं। और कल भी उन्होंने जो हमारा ऑल इंडिया सूफी सजेशन काउंसिल की मीटिंग थी उसमें रखी। उनका सजेशन ये था कोई भी विवाद हो उसका हल अगर आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट होता है तो आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट से एक दूसरे का सम्मान बढ़ता है, विश्वास बढ़ता है। और अगर कोई सुलह की पहल के भी अपोज करता है तो इससे बड़ी विडंबना क्या होगी। ये तो बहुत बड़े दुर्भाग्य की बात है अगर लोग इसका भी अपोज कर रहे हैं कि दीवान साहब ने अपने सामने एक प्रपोजल रखा और तमाम मकतब फिक्र, तमाम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है मुस्लिम और नॉन मुस्लिम, उनसे अपील करी कि ऐसा माहौल बनाए कि एक सम्मानजनक हल निकल सके
जी
और समझौता हो सके। और अगर समझौते की पहल को भी अगर इस तरीके से देखा जाएगा तो बड़ी दुख की बात
नहीं। लेकिन हमने देखा है सर कि राम जन्मभूमि के मामले में भी बहुत पहल हुई थी, बहुत सारे समझौते की कोशिश की गई थी, लेकिन समझौता नहीं हुआ। तो आपको क्यों लगता है कि अब की बार हो जाएगा?
देखिए, पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस जो रहा लोगों का, मेरा मानना है, मेरा भी रहा, तो हम एक कोशिश करें। अगर हम पहले से हार मान के बैठ जाएंगे तो मसाइल के हल नहीं होने। एक कह सकते हैं कि हम जो हिंदुस्तान पूरी दुनिया के अंदर आज शांति का प्रतीक बना हुआ है, आज बड़े बड़े जो दुनिया के विवाद हैं उसमें हिंदुस्तान पहल करके, इंटरव्यूइंग करके सुलह की पहल करवा रहा है, तो क्या हम अपने देश के, जो इस देश के नागरिक हैं, जो वासुदेव कुटुंबकम के एक सिद्धांत पे विश्वास रखते हैं, कि हम आपस में बैठ के कोई मसाइल का हल नहीं निकाल सकते? हमें सिर्फ एक पहल की जरूरत है। तो हमने ये पहल करी है और इस पहल को कहाँ तक कामयाब होते हैं तो अल्लाह उसकी जात जानता है कि अल्लाह कहाँ तक हमें कामयाबी अता फरमाएगा। लेकिन हमारी नीयत बहुत साफ है, हम चाहते हैं एक सम्मानपूर्वक हल निकले, आने वाली पीढ़ी को हम एक साफ सुथरा वातावरण दें और आपस में मोहब्बत रहे और इस मुल्क को मजबूत करें कि ये मुल्क तरक्की करेगा तो जाहिर सी बात है इस मुल्क का हर नागरिक तरक्की करेगा।
लेकिन मैं आपसे एक आखिरी सवाल पूछना चाहती हूँ, जो समझौता होगा वो तो यही समझौता हो सकता है ना कि वहाँ हिंदू मानते हैं वो जन्म स्थान है वो खाली हो जाए, वहाँ मंदिर बन जाए और बढ़ जाए और मस्जिद के लिए कोई और जमीन दी जाए। यही अयोध्या में हुआ था। तो क्या मुस्लिम समाज इसको मानेगा? क्या ये समझौता हो सकता है?
देखिए, ये तो हम जब टेबल पे बैठेंगे ना, जब क्या प्रपोजल उस तरफ से आते हैं और क्या प्रपोजल इस तरफ से आते हैं, तो वहां बैठ के फाइनल डिसीजन होगा। ये तो बड़ी प्रीमेच्योर स्टेज है अगर मैं कुछ बोलूं। और जब मैटर सब जुडी से तो मेरा बोलना इसमें मुमकिन भी नहीं है। हम चाहते बंद कमरे में मुलाकातें हों, कुछ सहमति बने, किन मामला पे बन सकती है, इसमें हमारे जो उलमाए कराम, हमारे मुफ्तियाए कराम है, उनसे भी राय ली जाएगी और किस हद तक बात हो सकती है। मैं कह रहा हूँ कोशिश कर रहे हैं ये हमारी कोशिश है और हमें तो आपका भी सपोर्ट चाहिए, मीडिया का भी। इसमें देश से नकारात्मक सोच को खत्म करना होगा, एक पॉजिटिव सोच के साथ आगे बढ़ें और सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट को थोड़ा पीछे छोड़ें और मुल्क की फलाह बहबूदी की सोचें, मुल्क को मजबूत करने की सोचें और आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए सोचें। हमारा ये मकसद।
जी जी, सैयद चिश्ती जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। वो उनको जाना था, वो निकल जाएंगे अब, लेकिन मौलाना जी मैं आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहती हूँ। वो निकल जाएंगे, बट मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आपने जो अपोजिशन किया है, मैं समझ रही हूँ कि आप क्यों अपोज करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन क्या आप इसलिए करना चाहते हैं अपोज की ट्रस्ट नहीं है दूसरी तरफ, या आपको लगता है कि आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट हो ही नहीं सकता?
नहीं, दो चीज़ें हैं। देखिए, सुबह से आप हिंदू पक्ष की बाइटें सुन रही हैं, मैं भी सुन रहा हूँ। एक भी आदमी ने इनके सजेशन को एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया, नंबर एक। दूसरी बात यह है कि इन्होंने जो फार्मूला दिया है, इन्होंने कहा है कि आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट हो, उसका एक फार्मूला इनको देना चाहिए था।
वो तो कह रहे हैं बात होगी तभी तो आगे
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता। जैसे दूसरा पक्ष कह रहा है कि फार्मूला ये है कि हमें मथुरा और काशी दे दो, उनकी तरफ से फार्मूला ये है। इनको भी एक फार्मूला देना चाहिए था कि बात इस पर हो सकती है। इन्होंने तो कोई फार्मूला तो दिया नहीं।
पूछा ना कि होगा क्या समाधान,
जब कोई फार्मूला,
जब टेबल पे बैठेंगे तभी कोई प्रपोजल आप नेगोशिएट करेंगे।
देखिए, वही बात है, हम हिंदू पक्ष को सुन रहे हैं, उनका सीधा सा फार्मूला है कि हमें मथुरा काशी दे दो। इनको मैं फिर कहता हूं, इनको एक फार्मूला लेके आना चाहिए था प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस से पहले।
अगर वो फार्मूला देते हैं तो
नहीं, फार्मूला आ ही नहीं सकता ना। हमें पता है, हमने बाबरी मस्जिद केस को देखा है। बाबरी मस्जिद केस में भी सेम यही बात थी। जब भी हिंदू पक्ष से बात की जाती थी, उनका एक ही सजेशन होता था, बाबरी मस्जिद हमें दे दो, बैठ लो, बाबरी मस्जिद हमें दे दो, बैठ लो।
नहीं, एक्चुअली एक दो केसेस प्रपोजल ऐसे भी आए थे कि उसी एकड़ जमीन पे जो डिस्प्यूटेड थी, वहीं पे मंदिर भी बन जाए और मस्जिद भी बन जाए, एक दीवार हो जाए बीच में, या थोड़ा सा 400 मीटर 500 मीटर की दूरी हो जाए, ये भी सोल्यूशन आए थे।
ये फार्मूला इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट ने भी दिया था कि जमीन आधी आधी हो जाए, लेकिन नहीं माना हिंदू पक्ष ने। इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट को भी नहीं माना, तभी तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए थे।
बट मुस्लिम पक्ष पे तो
दूसरे नहीं, मुस्लिम पक्ष तो इस पर भी राजी था। मुस्लिम पक्ष इस पर राजी था कि जमीन आधी आधी हो जाए।
नहीं,
मुस्लिम पक्ष ने, सुनिए, मुस्लिम
पक्ष ने तो ये भी कहा था कोर्ट में कि अगर अंश मिल जाएंगे मंदिर के तो हम छोड़ देंगे जमीन, अंश मिलने के बाद भी नहीं
वो उस वक्त कहा जब हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चले गए, तब हमने बोला कि अगर अंश मिल जाएंगे हम जमीन भी छोड़ देंगे।
तो नहीं छोड़ा ना उसके बाद,
लेकिन नहीं मिले ना। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने तो कहा कि ऐसा कोई सबूत नहीं मिला।
तो अंश मिले हैं।
नहीं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपने फैसले में मुख्य 4 बातें कही। सबसे पहले ये कहा कि हमें ऐसा कोई साक्ष्य नहीं मिला कि मंदिर तोड़कर मस्जिद बनाई गई हो, सबसे पहला। उसके बाद में कहा कि 1949 में जो मूर्तियां रखी गई वो चोरी से रखी गई, गलत तरीके से रखी गई। तीसरे उन्होंने कहा कि 1992 में बाबरी मस्जिद को इल्लीगल तरीके से तोड़ा गया। चौथी बात उन्होंने कही कि जो लोग इस कॉन्स्पिरेसी में शामिल थे उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। ये 4 बातें कही। फिर कोर्ट ने कहा
structure was found underneath the Babri masjid that was very well established by the ASI. There was only some dispute in some minds whether you could say beyond doubt it was a Hindu structure or not. But I think, the more we get into historical aspects, the more this debate will get stretched. Let's stay focused on whether a resolution is possible or not. Charu, can political parties come forward? They've tried it before. Prime ministers have tried it before. Will the current BJP dispensation be interested?
Shivani, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the government led by Bharatiya Janata Party has been very clear on certain things. We don't want to do anything that is unconstitutional. We don't want to adopt any means which are unlawful. And we have stuck to that, and that is why it took so long to get Ram Lalla Virajman in his grand palace. It took so long only because we waited for a verdict from the Supreme Court. I believe that the first option for any kind of a dispute needs to be a mutual resolving of that dispute. If we can do that, I am certain there is nothing like it. But do you think, looking at how politically there are certain sections of our opposition who thrive on only polarizing sections of society, do you think they will allow it to happen? Because I'll tell you something, there are lakhs of mandirs across our nation. Lakhs of mandirs have also been destroyed in the past. But we have said that हमारी आस्था, जो हमारे मेन भगवान हैं, उनके जन्मस्थल से जुड़ी है, even that has been disrespected in the past. And when we say Kashi or Mathura or Ayodhya, that has been a space of great devotion for us, because these are not places, these are not Janmbhumis that we can just let pass by. So I think if we can come to a resolution without any conflict, I am very certain we would welcome it. We are not going to allow for anything unconstitutional to happen. But if we have to take the legal route and we have to fight it out in court, I think why not? Because these temples are not being made for you and me or just this generation. This temple is going to be here for generations to
I
come.
get that. And actually people have questioned whether a settlement is going to be fruitful. Because Ashwini Dubey, there is a case of a quote-unquote settlement in the case of Mathura, for example. That very settlement is challenged in court today on the grounds that one of the parties had no business getting into the land dealing because they had no locus standi or authority. So, you know, you could do these settlements, but they're going to be subject to litigation later.
This is one aspect. And the second aspect, any party can challenge that, provided the party was not aware about the settlement which has taken place. Here the case is altogether different. What the person was not authorized, Shivani, has executed an agreement. So even the owners or the trust which was actually legally capable of executing the document is not aware. So it will be challenged. This is one. Second aspect is right to judicial remedy, Shivani, is a fundamental right. The Constitution of India, which is the holy book, which is in existence and every party agree to it, that also said that nobody can take out your right to approach to the court of law for redressal of your grievances. Point number 3, Shivani, so far as the Places of Worship Act is concerned, we have already debated in earlier, that prohibits as of now only conversion, not ascertaining the character of the religious building. And the Supreme Court in Gyanvapi's case have already said that the investigation is allowed, investigation can be done. And fourth and important point is Places of Worship Act's legality, whether the center by making the provisions in 1991 by creating arbitrary, irrational, retrospective cut-off date can ask any citizen of this country that look, aap adalat nahi ja sakte. Despite that one chapter of the Constitution itself that for redressal of any grievances, the law. So there are these aspects, Shivani, where I think that the judicial remedy is one of the proper, appropriate, accurate and the better remedy which can be resorted by the court, because both the sides, Masjid side also agree to it, and of course the worshippers of Prabhuji, they have approached to the court of law that look, हमें तो शांति से हमारी जगह चाहिए. So where is the question? Now my friend was saying about the Ayodhya. Shivani, very categorically with due respect to him, अयोध्या के केस में माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट की अदालत ने 5 जजेस ने यूनानिमस डिसीजन ASI सर्वे रिपोर्ट और तमाम तथ्यों को देखते हुए लिया था. That was not the case of the agreement or disagreement.
You know, but can I just say, I don't want to get into that because these are different cases. But रशीदी जी, मेरे पास 30 सेकंड है, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ. चलो, अयोध्या के केस में आपको लगता है तथ्य नहीं थे, बट काशी के केस में तो है. काशी में तो मंदिर दिखता ही है, मंदिर की दीवार दिखती है. लेकिन ऐसा लगता है कि चाहे तथ्य मिले या ना मिले, मुस्लिम समाज ये अब मानेगा नहीं कि मंदिर तोड़ा गया था.
देखिए, मानने न मानने की बात नहीं है. हिस्ट्री उसकी बिल्कुल सबूत है पूरा हिस्ट्री में. ये मस्जिद अकबर से भी पहले बनी हुई है.
सर, वो हिस्ट्री में नहीं है.
औरंगजेब ने कहाँ इसको तोड़ा, कब बनाया, दूसरी बात. अभी देखिए, बीजेपी के 2 मत हैं. एक बीजेपी का मत ये है कि हम कानून से इसको लेंगे. एक मत ये है जो मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ने बाकायदा ये कहा कि कौरव ने 5 गांव मांगे थे, फिर क्या हुआ, महाभारत हुई. उसके नतीजे में खुली धमकी कि अगर मुसलमान नहीं देंगे तो फिर महाभारत होगी. साफ तौर से कहा जा रहा है.
कोर्ट
तो
में
ये इस
महाभारत
तरह
चल रही है, आप इस तरह से भी ले सकते हैं.
नहीं, कोर्ट में महाभारत थोड़ी होती है.
महाभारत नहीं हो रही,
कोर्ट से महाभारत का कोई लेना देना नहीं है. कोर्ट अलग चीज है, महाभारत अलग चीज है.
जी,
कोर्ट का मतलब लड़ाई नहीं.
मानना है कि ये कोर्ट से ही होगा, तो कोर्ट में तो प्रक्रिया चलेगी. चारू, आई हैव 10 सेकंड्स ओनली, 10 सेकंड्स.
Yes, I'll be very quick. देखिए सर, आप ना इसको ट्रांसलेट आप गलत तरीके से कर रहे हैं. एक चीज आप समझ के रखिए, महाभारत भी सही और गलत के बीच में लड़ाई थी, धर्म और अधर्म के बीच में लड़ाई थी.
लेकिन लड़ाई
तो
थी
अगर
ना?
आप धर्म का पालन करना चाहते हैं, आपको तो खुद ही बोल देना चाहिए.
नहीं, वो लड़ाई थी.
आज के जमाने में अगर 550 साल की लड़ाई हमने रामलला की कोर्ट में लड़ी है और कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के आने के बाद ही, नहीं मेरे बीच में मत बोलिए, अभी हमने रामलला के लिए 550 साल इंतजार किया एंड दिस वाज क्विकली डन इन कोर्ट ओनली. सो इफ यू वांट टू एक्चुअली लुक एट इट इन अ राइट एंड अ रॉन्ग वे,
नहीं कि आपने 92 में तोड़ दिया मस्जिद को. आपने इंतजार कहां किया? 92 में तोड़ दिया उसको.
आपने पूजा बंद करवाई थी. यू आर द वन हु कंटिन्यू चेंजिंग द कैरेक्टर ऑफ ऑल द
इंतजार जब होता, जब बाबरी मस्जिद टूटी तो खड़ी हुई.
This is exactly the kind of debate we don't want to get in really, because we've seen this play out as far as Ayodhya is concerned. We'll leave it to your judgment whether an out-of-court settlement is possible or not. We slip into a very short break.
In association with
with all my respect, you let me know if it really crashed. It's raining too.
Varios minutos, como decir horas, siguiendo este incendio que comenzaba a seguir fracturado, que en los últimos minutos han rescatado a 2 personas, todo a punto de descontento del edificio. Ya es un momento que comenzan a haber explosiones durante toda la...
Esa misma finca son dos.
Comentado que ya estaba habilitado justo en esta zona.
Pilar.
Julián Conserje, el héroe que ha salvado a todo el mundo. ¿Y eso que no
este pobre Cristian está aquí también.
¿Cristian? ¿Para qué?
Pues porque me ha dejado aquí y dice...
13 personas heridas, en este caso de esas 13 personas, 6 son bomberos, lo que indica la intensidad del trabajo que están realizando, y el resto son personas civiles que no están interviniendo en la emergencia, que están distribuidas por diferentes hospitales de la ciudad de Valencia.
Bomberos, que de momento no se habla de número de víctimas. Sí que se sabe que unos 3 bomberos habrían... Y tenemos una equipo que yo creo que hará...
grave riesgo para el resto de la población.
Vale,
Van llegando poco a poco también cada vez...
Estamos dando con la cámara.
Sí.
Mira los bomberos.
Ah, vale, vale. Sí, ahora.
Los ves allá.
Vale, ya está. Ya está. No falta el chaval.
Sí, menos mal, pobrecillo.
La segunda cesta. La de abajo.
Sigo, ¿verdad?
General del edificio. No, Magda. Sí, métele tanto aguanto. Yo creo que una hora aguanto. Ya están cerca.
Aquí no hay nadie. Me muevo un momento.
Sí, de todos, sí. Están caminando, van con 2 de naranja, 2 bomberos, o enfermeros, o lo que sea, por el medio de la calle. ¿Lo ves?
Venga, camina. Sí que son. Móveles un poco.
A special look at the Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant pre-wedding ceremony, which is making waves across the globe. It will take place in Jamnagar from the 1st to the 3rd of March and will showcase the best of India's artisans and more.
Viewers, I'm going to begin with a few questions tonight. What would you call a party that woos voters but doesn't respect them? what would you call a party that wants to win the trust of the voters, but when they don't vote for it, turns to insulting the intelligence? I want you to think about these questions, ruminate over them, as I report to you the big development of the day. In Varanasi, the Prime Minister has torn into Congress General Secretary Rahul Gandhi for his rather off-color utterances against the youth of Varanasi who have supported the BJP's message. A few days ago, you might all recall, viewers, the Congress scion had implied that Uttar Pradesh's youth, in particular, youth in Kashi, presumably seduced by the BJP, were left adrift by the party to drink themselves senseless. Listen in, viewers.
देखा मैंने रात को बाजा बज रहा है, ठहर जा, बाजा बज रहा है, वहां पे शराब पिए सड़क पे लेटते हुए बाजा बज रहा है। यूपी का भविष्य रात को शराब पिए नाच रहा है, डांस कर रहा है, नशे में।
वो कह रहे हैं और काशी की धरती पर आके कह रहे हैं, काशी के नौजवान, यूपी के नौजवान नशेड़ी है। ये कैसी भाषा है भाई? मोदी को गाली देते देते तो इन्होंने 2 दशक बिता लिए, लेकिन अब ईश्वर रूपी जनता जनार्दन पर, यूपी के नौजवानों पर ही ये लोग अपनी फ्रस्ट्रेशन निकाल रहे हैं। जिनके अपने होश ठिकाने नहीं है, वो यूपी के मेरे काशी के बच्चों को नशेड़ी कह रहे हैं। अरे गौर परिवारवादियों, काशी का, यूपी का नौजवान तो विकसित यूपी बनाने में जुटा है, अपना समृद्ध भविष्य लिखने के लिए परिश्रम की पराकाष्ठा कर रहा है। इंडी गठबंधन द्वारा यूपी के नौजवानों का पान कोई नहीं भूलेगा।
Sadly, this isn't the first time that Hindi belt voters have been villainized for voting the Bharatiya Janata Party. Last year, senior Congress leader and trusted Gandhi acolyte Randeep Singh Surjewala broke a cardinal rule of democratic politics, which is never attack the voter. Randeep Singh Surjewala, bless him, did just this when he had a go at BJP voters for backing the Modi-led NDA over these last 9 years. He said, viewers, it's right on your screens, the people of BJP and Jan Nayak Janata Party are Rakshas, and those who vote for the party and support them are also Rakshasas. Now viewers, a little later on the day the Telangana results were declared, close Rahul Gandhi aide and prominent Congress party member Praveen Chakravarti lit the spark by dog whistling against North Indian voters. His tweet implied that southern voters were more sophisticated than their allegedly boorish northern counterparts. He was of course only echoing Rahul Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's sentiments. Rahul Gandhi said, viewers, in February 2021, for the first 15 years, I was an MP in the north. I had got used to a different type of politics. For me, coming to Kerala was very refreshing, as suddenly I found that people are interested in issues. Viewers, as if the voters in the north or any other part of this country are not interested in issues, they are only interested in tamasha. Viewers, Rakshasas in Hindu mythology, even a child knows, are cast as deplorable creatures unwilling to play by the rules of ethical and civilized behavior. But can that be summarily said about the NDA's voters, about BJP voters? a shade under 45% of all eligible 650 million voters re-elected Narendra Modi in 2019. These included record numbers of marginalized tribals, Mahadalits and the indigent, including the middle class, the neo-middle class. Some of you viewers, are you all Rakshasas? What's more, they weren't confined to just the Hindi heartland. That the Congress and its allies have allowed this tirade free rein is a serious omission. The hateful slander directed at voters exposes a disturbing, undemocratic impulse. Rather than insulting the BJP voter with offensive appellations like Rakshas, Chotiwala Rakshas, Andhbhakt, Sangi, and even the particularly odious Musangi, elements in the opposition, particularly the Congress, especially India's grand old party, could objectively ask themselves why voters across class and caste segments have gravitated towards the BJP in increasing numbers in 2019. If they do an honest audit, they might yet chance upon a telling